wearing my Mustang jacket and all that because it was, it was pretty cold. And started looking at the cars outside. But as I pulled in, before I even stopped, I noticed one guy leaning, with a willy. But he saw me there, and there were a lot of people in the store. So I went out and I started looking at cars outside, and I started looking at one that was kind of a little sporty, this little Honda CRZ or something. I never heard of it. It looked interesting, and I only waited. I did wait probably a good 3 minutes or so before he came out.
Okay.
And the guy who saw me pull up, he's the one who came out and started talking to me, but didn't shook my hand and said hi and all that stuff, but didn't say welcome to frankly to Honda and my name. Didn't
Okay.
say his name. He never asked for my name. At one point later, we did do a demo drive, and he did ask for my driver's license, but he never asked for my name. So I had to look and all that stuff, and he did look kind of Hispanic looking. I didn't know if that's why they sent him out to me or something like that, but so I was looking at, his name was Wayne Burns was his name. So I did, we looked at this car, and he was asking why, I looked at this car, and I did say that I noticed it was a hybrid. I thought that was kind of interesting. And after just a few minutes, I didn't want to tell him. I said, "Oh, I want to let you know that I'm looking for my sister. I said she's a scientist, doesn't know anything about cars, and I helped her, get her last couple of cars and things like that." And so he did ask what she drove, and I told him, what she drove in the previous couple of cars, and she was on her third Toyota in a row, and she almost bought a Honda last time instead of her Toyota Celica, and all this. And so we went over that, and all of this is true, so it was really easy for me to keep my story straight.
Right.
But, and so we were looking at this little CRZ. It was a little two-seater, and I was looking in the back because it looked like it had a couple of seats there. And he was saying, well, he said, "Well, does she carry anybody in the back?" And I said, "Well, not usually, no." I said, "I know I have when I bought her car, but I don't know that she does." Because he was saying that it's only a two-seater. And I said, "Well, that might be okay." But I knew I wanted a two-door, and so he went into it a little bit as to ask me what we were looking for. But he started to keep going into hybrid, and I was telling him how he was going into something sporty. And then I looked at the car and was surprised at the price of it, that it was a lot less than I thought it was going to be. And I mentioned something about I thought hybrids were always really expensive, and he said, "Oh, no, they're not. That's just the myth, really." So he did a little bit of wanting to see what her needs were. He did ask who would be driving it and who would be riding it and things of that nature. But he kept going towards it being a hybrid, and I was trying to pull away from that. When I was trying to pull away that gas wasn't so much gas mileage wasn't an issue for her. That she hardly drives a car anyway. I was looking for something that was kind of sporty, kind of quick, something small. But we were outside still, and one nice thing it was, after just a couple of minutes, he did say, "Well, I have the same car in the showroom where it's nice and warm. Would you like to come and look at it under the bright light to get a better look?" I said, "Oh, sure." So we did that, and I got I sat down in the car, and first thing I did, and I'm not tall, but I hit my head trying to get in the car. And so he was really apologetic. He's like, I'm sorry. He says, "Here's where we set the seats." And I said, "Oh, that's fine. My sister's only 4'11" anyway. And that's one of the things I'm looking for. And I'm saying that's why we didn't, she almost bought a Honda S2000, but she couldn't get the seat forward and up and all that stuff. So that was something he did talk about, and he did latch onto that a little bit, as to which cars you can get up and high and things of that nature. And he said, "Well, she want to, steer away from this car, but these will work for her. She's only 4'11" and things of that." So he was very nice, very friendly.
Okay.
I learned, the ages of his children and things of this nature, because we started, talking a little bit about that. When I was inside, I did notice that they had this really old '72 Honda sitting there, and I was looking at it. We talked a little bit about that, and he was telling me how it was, frankly, his daughter's car, and so I started telling him a little bit about that '72 Honda Coupe that he didn't know about. Like it had the motorcycle engine, and that's why, the stick shift is off of the dash. And he's like, "What?" And he looks and says, "Oh, Anyway, so, but we did, he didn't asked to do a demo of that particular car. I don't know why. I started talking about Civics a little bit, and I was looking for something sporty, and I said Civics, they're a little bit larger and have the 2 seats, and he brought out a standard Civic hybrid, so that wasn't really what I wanted to look at, and so we did a test drive of it, and it didn't have a lot of pep, and I was asking if this wheel spec and all
So
that.
he went and got the car and brought it around?
Yes, he
Okay.
went and got that car, and he brought it up to the front, and he said, well, let's take it, for a test drive, I gave him let him copy my driver's license, but he never actually called me by name, he never gave me his name, but before we get to the test drive, he did at one point, hand me his business card. He said, well, here's my card and things like that, and he did ask, when was my sister coming to visit,
Okay.
and he asked if I would be helping her purchase the car. And I said, do you mean financially? He said, yes. I said, oh, no. She's a scientist, and she makes more than what most of you guys make. And he said, yeah. I said, yeah, I think she's been in 6 figures for years. He goes, oh. I said, so, no, and I told him, I said, that's why, I wasn't looking at price so much,
Okay.
5 years ago, she paid $25,000 for the car. And so he asked, at one point he did ask if she would be trading it in. And I said, most likely. I said, it's a 2006, but it has less than 25,000 miles on it.
Okay.
That thing's spotless and all that stuff. And we did talk a little bit about features, because I noticed that the car he showed me had leather. And I said that she would like the seats in that first one we looked at, which I didn't get a test drive because they were kind of funky material or something. And she would like it just because it's a funky material and not leather, and this and that. But he did ask if she was going to be visiting soon, and said he didn't know what kind of deals they had there, but if she does come and look, and he said we could match anything they've got, we could beat it all, and have her come. And before I left, he went also and got some brochures, and didn't have a brochure for that car, but he did give me some others, and wrote down the websites and the website for the dealer, and he gave me 3 more cards. 3 more business cards. He said, here, here's one for yourself, and send some to your sister.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Did he ever get your email address or phone number?
Yes, he did ask for my email address.
Okay, good.
He did ask for my phone number.
Okay.
And
have you been able to check your email address last night or this morning? Was there anything from him?
No, I didn't check.
Okay, you didn't check. Okay. Let me ask you this. He gave you a business card and gave you a couple others. What did he say to do with the business cards? Anything? He said,
well, here's some more business cards. Well, no, he first gave me the one, and then he gave me 3 more. I don't think I remember he had already given me one. He said, here's a business card for you, and send some to your sister.
Okay. All right. Very good.